Traders, what's up? What's up? Welcome back to another Relentless recap. As you guys are tuning in, be sure to hit that thumbs up. And if you're a new viewer, subscribe to the channel. Guys, today I got smoked, man. I got smoked, and a lot of it was due to my own self. You know, every time we trade, every single day, even outside of trading, when we have a problem, we have to first look back at ourselves and reflect and ask, what could I have done better? Where did I go wrong? And today was one of those days where I came out and I simply was not as sharp as I needed to be to get the job done. Noticed key entries along the way. I'm a little slow to react. Key dips, I'm nowhere to be seen, allowing them to fly by like some sort of deadline. Needed to be a little bit more aggressive and assertive despite a bit of a slower start. So if we look at our monitor screen here, we're down 2,300 on a day where I'd say if we really were at our best, we could have ended up a nice 4K, 5K. The day had that type of opportunity. We started off at CADL. CADL, $14 stock. Could have done so much better on this thing. Man, sometimes you just like you can get so frustrated if you allow yourself. And as I even as I'm standing here right now looking back at the chart, it's like, but we have to move forward with a cool, calm, collected mindset, and that's what's going to give us the best odd coming into tomorrow's trading session. Now, as usual, we've been seeing this trend where pre-market, we're seeing the better opportunities. Coming into the open, things are not looking as good as we would like, and so we ended up having a beautiful move starting around 7 a.m. from 470 all the way up to $14. Incredible. Almost 300%. And coming into the open, the question always is, does this stock have what it takes to continue? Does the stock have what it takes to continue? And so, I'm watching at it. We started off a little slow, but, we did ended up pushing over 1260 and making the new high. And, my timing here, well, a little off, or let's say a little unfortunate, really, as we had the red candle. I'm usually watching three stocks at one time, and I think this is where I had a bit of a, or let's say can have a bit of a disadvantage at times. On one of the charts to my left, we had a different ticker moving, and it was a green candle to start the first minute, so I then looked over there, and in doing so, the first 1 minute candle ended up making a new high over 1260, and I was nowhere to be found from 1230 to $13. This thing ripped up, and then I think this is where things got a little out of hand into the third minute, where we had the high of 13, and then there was a pullback with a low of 1283. It was a little tricky because when we did get to 13 the second time for the breakout, we were there for maybe 25 full seconds. Usually a breakout of the whole dollar is going to be right away, going to be instant. And so here I told myself, being that it's taking so long, we're not really seeing a lot of green on the tape, wait for it to go, and then can we hold above the whole dollar for the next entry? And what I did not do, or let's say what the stock did not do, was to provide the entry over 13. Once it broke out, it went all the way up to 89, and this thing got halted up in the first 3 minutes of the day. So I was thinking, well, all right, I didn't capture anything, but it's still pretty early. We're still alive, and so we resumed sideways. It dropped down a little bit. I believe. Let's see, 937. Let's check my log here. I believe I got long, and then I started to get obliterated. 937. So I got long 1265. This is below the 13 level off the first dip I'm trying. Let's see, I'm in, so 1265 out of 71, in at 60, out at 57, in at 47. And so I tried below the half dollar. It didn't work. And then I tried 30. Let's see, it looks like I might have had a small winner there. So, as we can see, below the level, just really didn't get much going. and then this ended up, so 940. Now we can come over again. We ended up pulling all the way back down to 1240, which for our halt resumption trade is not the typical move, but if you were being aggressive towards the overextended dip here, this is where you could have had the opportunity to then ride the wave back up. So in my head, it really comes down to the analysis, right? Because in my head, I'm thinking, man, we just halted up, maybe a quick pullback and then a move higher, but instead there's like a bearish engulfing. Are we just selling off? And so where I'm hesitant to buy down here on this red candle, the thing actually curls back up. So if you had the mindset of, hey, this thing just rejected hard and it's oversold, let me buy, I think we should bounce, then you're in a really good position to capture this entire move up here. If you're in a thought process like me of, hey, what's going on here? We just had a nice move, but now we're rejecting, perhaps bearish engulfing, this could sell off. Maybe you're not as interested to buy this dip. And again, this is where we say, it's marginal, it's a tightrope walk, the fine line, all the different terms you hear. Sometimes it's these simple decision making and thought process that can lead a day, right, into one direction or the other. And so I got caught here not getting in when the stock did curl back up. I think this is my first major mistake of the day. I believe one area I got a high fill. I don't know if it was before 13 breakout. I think it was before 13 breakout. I had a high fill on maybe an entry somewhere here. But anyhow, the break of 13 was slow to go, so I don't think I would have held the trade anyways, through the level. But over here was my first major mistake, and I was not assertive to get in on the dip. I think I tried for this one initially at the bottom. I'm a little high, fine, but it curled up within the screen candle, and then it dipped down all within this 1 minute candle. It curled up, then dipped down to about, I think like 13. Was it like 13? What was the low? Hold on, 1330, 939. I think I did not. I think that's what I said. I don't think I bought. 1339 at 939. 1330. Oh, okay. I bought 30 and sold 38. So one. Okay, looks like I didn't hold this trade long enough. If I remember correctly, I thought there was another entry. That I could have been in on that I didn't take. Maybe I'm mistaken. I don't have my archive on this computer here that I'm using. But anyhow, this thing ended up ripping, and it ripped all the way to 1460. And the breakout must have happened from about 1390, 1380, 85. It took off like a missile, similar to before, just teleported up. And these were two key trades where if you're in and holding, I mean, the results were really, really good. So it's a little disappointing that we got caught on the other side of it. And I believe on this red candle here is where we took the bulk of our loss. We were somewhat flat for the most part. And then we got long. Let's see. We're in at 80. We're in at 1390 on the dip. We're out at 75 for fair size loss. I think there might have been another loss somewhere as well that we really got destroyed. But yeah, for the most part, I think while this stock was short lived, was it here? I think it might have been here. In at 13. Yeah, it was definitely this one. Jeez, in at 1364, out at 1292. This is not great. This is at 3749. So okay, it's a little earlier. So it was on this red candle here, and it was an aggressive trade that I tried, and got absolutely blazed. Absolutely blazed. So that was CADL. I think all in all the stock was pretty good. Even in just this area here was enough to be up like 2K. So moving on to some of our other opportunities, AMPG, perhaps we'll see it tomorrow for continuation if it holds up throughout pre-market. This one started off uh, a little choppy, right? A little choppy. You can see topping wicks. And right as I shut down the live stream around 10:30, I saw this one moving up, and I'm like, you know what? Let's get involved. I got up to like 1100 on this thing, and then on this move up, this move down here, I gave it all back, thinking we would hold up the pullback, buying into levels like this at 220, 225, and getting blazed all the way down to $2. But on the way up, the move was decent. There was an area or two where we had, I think, three areas really, right on this candle here, this candle, and then here, where we had like bigger breakouts. Today was one of those days where I missed every bigger breakout. Like I just sadly didn't connect on any of them. I mean, they would have really boosted up the day a lot. It was just a tough day for me. But in this move up here, right, we finally pulled through over $2, and it wasn't the clean, as you can see, from 86 down to 74, but then from 74 we ripped up to 2, then to 214. There's a bit of a wick in there, but it did continue a little tricky going up. 241 for highs. It took me a while today to get my bearings, and I think that was the main issue. I had the goal of starting with small size to make sure I don't go red, but I think I still sized up a little too soon. It's this issue where the stock starts to look good, and then so I do size up, and if I'm not as accurate as I need to be, then I'm in the slums, and I'm in the slums early. So maybe, I have to force myself into a bit of a trader rehab where I build a bit of a cushion first. Like maybe I need to be, hey, green $500 first before sizing up. That way, like, I'm guaranteed not to size up at all until there's some sort of money. I think I need to get back into doing more of that. Because, in the past, these are rules that we did have. But over time, you start to try and change things a little bit to be more aggressive. And then sometimes you have to revert back to what was working. So I think tomorrow the goal will be 500 shares. Or let's say like depending on the price of the stock. But like a moderate share size to build a cushion, right? It's going to be relative. It could be like a 1,500 share position on like a $3 stock, but can we build up a couple $100, 300 for, and then we size up, right? Because we're absolutely getting cooked. We're getting cooked out here. Boiled in oil. Boiled alive like a red lobster. CADL. What else did we have? LASE. Not much on this one. LDTC. LDTC. This stock here, talk about having no bearings. I felt much better on CADL than I did on this one. CADL, it's like, at least I had a feel for what was happening, and that I was a little late to some entries. Some trades I should have been in, I didn't take. It's like throughout everything, throughout all the candlesticks here, there was only one clean area for me, and it was this dip out of the halt resumption, which I don't know. Again, I let it fly by like some sort of deadline or something. Like, it's like my brain could not function to say, hey, you get long in the trade, I think I was just a little too distracted today. So the bulk of the first move I missed. I didn't have this one on watch for continuation. Shout out to SF, he did call it out. But from there, I pulled it up. It got halted up, I believe, at one point over here. Or, did it get halted up? It was just really extended, I think. So 195 high. But then we had a bit of a pullback, which at the time I wasn't sure if it might have been backside. But we started to pull back. There were some other opportunities moving. I look away. By the time I come back, it's already over here. And so, missing the bulk of this, seeing backside, I think I lost like $300 here. Looking away, coming back to it, it's up here. I did witness this red candle, or at least half of it. And I'm thinking, hey, we just went from 165 to 185. We had a low of 178, so about 7-8 cents off the highs. I wasn't sure if we were really ready to make a move just yet, and I was not aggressive towards the 1 minute candle to make the new high. And this is what I talk about this is what I mean when I say, I kind of let some opportunities fly me by. At the end of the day, we're hyper scalping, And part of us hyper scalping is taking these types of entry. Hey, the 1 minute candle is making a new high off of a good setup. A bit of a 3 bar play, a bit of a mini bull flag. It's like, why not? Because at the end of the day, what gives us an edge is that we can come out with a tight loss, a tight risk. Sometimes break even, 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cent. Why not give this trade an entry right here? And I can zoom in. Why not give this candlestick right here? Why not give this candlestick an entry right here, right? And then right in this area, why not get long? And then, perhaps ride the wave up. I didn't. This thing ripped up, just teleported up. We had some big bits come in there up at 90. So from maybe like 83, it just ripped up. And so I missed the entire thing. And from there, the only other proper entry that I saw was this dip down at 20. And I think today, perhaps I fell victim to lack of confidence. Starting off red, not staying locked in. It's like I couldn't even focus on the patterns. Yeah, I don't know. It's strange. Maybe maybe some of it is the stock as well. Like we resumed, there's no dip and rip. It just went. But from 26 resumption, because we got halted up at 212, it ripped to 40. From 40, it dropped to 20. There's no reason I should not have been in that area between like 20, 22, and so forth. So I missed this big move up here to 60, because from 20 it ripped to 40, like maybe like 10 seconds, ripped to 40, then was break of 50 to 60, and then basically from there we I pushed up a little more. I tried a few scalps, didn't work, and then back down to 24. Just not in sync, not in rhythm, just absolute misery. That's what today was. Me getting smoked. Not being my best, not being the quickest I could have ever been. And so for those reasons, the market is merciless, and we know what it is. If you're not on your A game, you have to be ready to pay the price. So I'll gladly pay my tuition and know that tomorrow I have to be more sharp and on top of my game, and game plan a little bit more carefully with size early. That way I can protect myself, have more longevity, and then see a better outcome. That was pretty much the day. I think it's a little too much to be losing. On the month, the first week we had a red day. We made it back. I think the red 2,700, then green 3K, then green 9K, and then gave him back some of that off the top, to then a weaker end to the week, and then red 900, and then green 3K, to then or green 2,300, to now red 2,300. Too much of a seesaw. We're having too many red days, and I think a lot of it can be helped if we're being a little bit more firm, a little bit quicker, a little bit sharper on the day-to-day. So I got to come ready, man. I'm coming in a little too dull. Maybe I got to start drinking a bit of a Red Bull here to start the day. I'm serious about that. Like, my energy sometimes is so low at the open, right? And on days where the opportunities are few and far apart, if you get red because you're sloppy, there might not be a chance to recover because there's nothing else coming, right? So with that being said, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, check out those links down below. Quick recap here, but I think I'm going to check myself into a small trader rehab, especially for the first 5 to 10 minutes of the day. So hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Pastor signing out.